nice to see you here. I'm Sorina.
My name is Ron. Nice to meet you, everyone. Thanks for joining. I think we'll wait a little bit until the other ones are seated too. But yeah, go ahead.
Yes, so we're AskUI, here to talk to you about agentic AI automation. And we would like to really scroll through, I guess, some context slides in the beginning really quickly because we have some demos prepared. We would like to really go into the actual tool. But I think it makes sense to start with an introduction about who we are and what we do. At AskUI, it really all started because our CTO, Dominic, he was working at Siemens. And he really ran into issues in relation to automation on native desktop applications. And so they really set out to create a QA tool that would automate this. He met our CEO, Jonas, as well in KIT in Karlsruhe in Germany, which I'd like to think is like the MIT of Germany. And together, they really started building a tool for automation. And their idea was to solve this mostly visual. And it should be able to automate everything on the screen, no matter what it was. And the idea would be that you would prompt it. You would say what you wanted to do. And it would be able to interact like a human because of the visual effect.
Yes, and I'll take quickly over. So taking the idea that you essentially can talk to your UI. So instead of coding or anything, you just basically talk like, yeah, I want to click this button or do that. Some use cases became apparent with enterprises in Germany. For example, Deutsche Bahn, you've probably all taken a train, and you've probably also bought a coffee or a Coke in the train, and they have a point of sale system, obviously, in the train. And it's run on Android, and the way how they tested this was manually, right? So someone was there pressing all the buttons, clicking through to check that everything was working. But with AskUI, instead of someone sitting there, you can mimic a human using our tool because we check what the interface looks like and navigate all the buttons and do all the testing on the system, mimicking a human. And we only do that. We not only do that for Deutsche Bahn, but we also do that for Porsche, for example, or we also do that for Zucchetti. So essentially, any interface a human is interacting with, and that has to have some kind of quality in terms of experience has to be set. That's what AskUI can test immensely, like with a high accuracy, and that is one of our use cases. Another use case that we are also identifying in the market is moving data from PDFs into legacy systems, or from legacy systems into different systems that have no API. Currently, humans, they read from PDFs or they read from files and they type everything in manually. That's still happening in this world. You wouldn't guess, but it's still happening. And AskUI, for example, what we can do is we can read the document, type everything in a dedicated system where no API is there. And that's something you could use AskUI for example. Yeah.
And I think it makes sense to talk about the problems that we've seen repeatedly appear. QA people started coming to us, and it's not just that, it's heads of engineering, because they had some real problems. There's a lot of manual testing. There's a lot of time lost in this process, of course. And the most common things that we've seen are these ones that they're spending a lot of time fixing the tests, selectors who break all the time. Maintenance of the test is really taking quite a lot. Then there's a problem that they really know what to test, but they cannot write the scripts. And maybe some of you are familiar here with, writing .NET scripts. That seems to be quite complicated, or just generally any sort of automation for desktop apps. Those scripts are hard to write. And therefore, they want low code, no code, easier way to write these tests. And what is happening right now is that heads of engineering are switching to tools that are easier to use, and also by project managers, not just QA people. It's coming to be democratized inside a less technical team. And of course, pipelines everywhere. Problem that they cannot connect testing on multiple devices. Therefore, there's this need for structuring the automation pipelines across CI/CD. And last but not least, because we're going to switch into the demo, they really want a self-healing and an AI-first testing tool, and intelligent test generation, and ideally an intelligent QA partner. And that is why we've seen that the conversation is switching from code, less test scripting, to actual conversation. And yes, everybody wants to just tell the tool to test, and it should be able to do it. And our experience so far is that the models have been getting so good that everything that we build upon is starting to not be seen as just kind of like optional in the moment. We've got an SDK, we've got TypeScript and Python, but people are using just the prompt to automation function right now, and it seems to work extremely reliable. And we really think that QA is about to shift from code to chat, and really from framework to agents. And I think from scripts to just screen native understanding. And this is what we would like to show you guys. I think it's in this direction. Yes. So I have an Android phone here plugged in. And how this works is, of course, you can go to our website. You can try Caesar. You would be going into this interface. And you'll be able to see, if you start a new conversation, that we've got 3 agents at the moment: a web agent, an Android agent, and a computer agent. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to start with an automation on Android. And I'm going to tell it to go to my Lidl app and add a pair of shoes size 38 to cart. Imagine that this is something that you're doing as a QA engineer, QA tester. You're trying to really check that the cart functioning is working well. You're going to have a test for that. And what is going on right now is we have a way to abstract the keyboard and the mouse. So ideally, we can control your device. We can perform the actions that a user would be able to do. This can be on your computer, on your Windows, on your Mac machine, on your Linux machine, on your Android phone. And here you can see a little bit in the Thinking app. So this is actually happening inside my phone as well. And I'm going to show you a little bit about, I'm going to show you ideally these screenshots. Because what happens is that the tool is constantly taking screenshots of what is happening on the device. And we have developed this controller that is taking the reasoning from an LLM and is directing the agent to press in the coordinates that it gets from the context and from the action that it needs to perform. And you'll be able to see on all steps that right now here, it searched. Maybe I'll go a little bit back so you see what happened. So it actually first told us that, hey, I am in the Lidl online shop. It opened the Lidl app on my phone. And then it typed for Schuhe, which is also a very interesting thing because the app is in German and I typed in English, and it's able to take the context from the app and search inside the field in the language of the app. And we can actually say that it works in Korean too. We have a Korean colleague, and it literally can understand the language of the interface, no matter what language you're talking to it in. And it searched for a pair of shoes. It saw 344 shoe products. And it found what it needed, a pair of sports shoes, size 38. And it picked the 38. And if we scroll a little bit to the screenshot, it added it to the cart. And it could see the success here. Zum Warenkorb hinzugefügt. In German, added to cart with a green check mark. And this is one use case of what you could potentially do. What we've seen QA teams do is something where they actually upload their entire test suite. So I could show you from my Finder a second. Document. This is a CSV file of literally just little tests that you could pack in a CSV file, where you would literally just say what you want to see, right? You would want the agent to go and navigate to a web page, to an Android app, no matter what it is, pack it in as text, and give it instructions. It could have like the expected results, because it needs to have some success criteria to pass. Of course, this is what the agent needs to see. Okay, so all elements are visible. If it adds something in the cart, it should be able to see the displayed results. It should see that the cart functionality works, that the navigation works, and so on. And as you can imagine, this is something that a product manager can definitely write with no problem. And what you could do is you could literally add it here as a CSV file. And if you press start, on the same principle of what I've shown you, it's going to go and run through all of the tests. And I've run this one before, but we could actually let it run for a second. So it's the same phone. Now, of course, it's like in the Lidl app, but I'm going to give it this CSV file. And it is prompted to open Amazon, look for a laptop. So my bad here. I have to actually say that it needs to test these 4 scenarios for me. Of course, it cannot know what I want just by me dropping a CSV file. So, yeah. After he received the instructions, let's give it a second. It's going to think. And connected the tool. You saw that the ADB device is on. Previous window from Lidl. So now it's going to find a way to get to an Amazon page. So it went into my phone. He saw the Chrome browser in the dock. So it tapped on it, opened it. And scenario number 1, everything is visible, search bar, navigation menu, so the test scenario seems to pass. Okay, so we got 1 test scenario passed, and it's moving on to scenario number 2. You can already see it's tapping. These are the instructions of the coordinates that you can already see here. It's searching for a laptop right now. Yes. Multiple products. Everything is visible. It's moving to the shopping cart functionality, which is test 3. You can see this here too. This is also a test that passed. And this is literally an easy way to test your apps. And we have customers right now who have thousands of these unit cases that they can run at the same time. And just receive a very nice report, upload it. You can save the screenshots. You can save the results to protocol everything. And yes, all 4 scenarios have passed. in this CSV that we've added. But there's multiple other use cases that we tried. We actually just did this over at our stand, where we went to LinkedIn and we asked the agent to play. First, what did we do, Ron? First, what was the first game? Pinpoint, right?
Yeah. So in order to showcase that our AI agent has some reasoning capabilities, like let's assume you play Sudoku, your human capability of reasoning is basically understanding that if one is a one square and a different one is in another, you understand that the third one that's not there yet, you have to put it in. And that's, for example, what we can showcase with AskUI. I don't think that we have to showcase it right now because it will take some time. But you kind of get the idea, right? So you have an interface, and usually, like huge enterprises, they do carry still like HMIs, right? Like interfaces with human contact, and they have to be tested and quality like checked, right? And with this tool, you can easily write down the test case you want to quickly test. So if you need like quick input, and during droidcon, for example, we already had a lot of people asking, okay, now I have one test case and it ran through successfully, but what now, right? So your first idea probably is, okay, like how can I rerun it, right? Or how do I put it in CI/CD? And this is just the front end for anyone who has no like experience writing any test cases, right? So behind this tool, there's obviously an SDK, a Python SDK that you can also use to write your test cases. But this tool significantly increases the speed of writing tests, running them through and understanding, okay, something works or something doesn't work. So as you can see, putting it in CI/CD is not possible in the tool right now. This will come soon, but it is possible in the back end, right? So repeatability is what you want to have. And let's assume one of our customers, they have like a huge like a file with 10,000 test cases. And how they've been doing it in the past 5 to 10 years is like, like above 200 people are testing it manually. They're going through the process one by one every day. And how they are changing right now is, okay, actually these people, they don't have to do robotic work, right? It's robotic work. We can give it to AskUI. These people just type in the message, test case 1 to 10, check that it ran through, and then move it to the dev who puts it in CI/CD. And that significantly increases their output, which means that developers that are building features and want to release faster are like lifted off their burden of not releasing fast enough. I only recommend if you're like a QA engineer or you have a QA team, you're an Android developer and you consistently talk to QA people, I really recommend to give it a shot to see if there's any like time saving on your end, or like what you'll find out is also that you'll get different ways of how you could use your app, for example. Like we also offer explorative testing models that are just spidering their way through your app and trying to figure out ways or bugs that you probably maybe haven't thought about yet. Are there any questions right now? Is it like a question round we do afterwards, or? Okay.
We're launching Caesar Tuesday, so if you want to drop by our booth, we'd be happy to tell you more about it. Thank you.
If you have more questions, you can join us here. Yeah.
Join us on the stand. Thank you.